The story begins in the rural countryside of England. We see a teenage boy named Isaac returning to his old family house, a place where no one lives anymore. He sits alone in a room, staring at a ventilation grill, and from here, the story shifts into the past. When Isaac was young, his father James was a talented architect and the family lived a comfortable life. But everything changed after the passing of Isaac's mother. Later, James married a woman named Laura, but Isaac never accepted her. He didn't want anyone replacing his mother, and no matter how hard Laura tried, they always felt distant. Things became worse when James faced a severe accident. His condition was extremely critical, and doctors could only keep him alive through machines. Recovery was impossible. We then see Laura bringing Isaac to the hospital. James's entire body is covered in bandages, and Laura gently tells Isaac to say goodbye to his father. After the accident, Laura and Isaac's lives collapsed. They returned to their isolated house near the forest. Isaac, still very young, had lost his mother and now his father too. He barely ate and stayed quiet, but the loss had crushed him inside. Laura was also falling apart. To escape her grief, she started drinking and spent nights watching old family videos before passing out on the couch. This only increased the distance between her and Isaac. In one of those videos, James gives Isaac a handheld game device, something Isaac keeps close throughout the film. The next day, James's lawyer arrives with a social services officer. Laura learns that, as the legal spouse, James's property is now under her name. His will also states he wishes to be buried beside his first wife in the private garden, so Isaac can visit his parents' graves anytime. Since Isaac has no relatives left from either side, he must either stay with Laura or be placed in foster care until he turns 18. Laura feels stuck and calls her mother, who advises her to take her share and leave, saying Isaac should be raised by someone else. But Laura doesn't want him sent to a foster home. She truly loved James, and he trusted her completely. That night, after heavy drinking, Laura falls asleep on the couch, watching old family videos. Isaac sleeps in his room, and strange flashing lights appear, later shown as a bad dream. The next day, Robert, a close family friend who was very close to James, visits them. Laura tells him Isaac dislikes her, and they can't live together. Robert, who has 2 daughters and is divorced, comforts her and also talks to Isaac. Isaac trusts Robert because he was close to his father. Before leaving, Robert advises Laura to give Isaac time to heal. Later that evening, Laura goes to Isaac's room to tell him the truth. James is only alive through machines, and doctors will soon turn them off. Isaac refuses to accept it. Laura is heartbroken too. That night, while both sleep, a bright flash and a tremor occur. It's not clearly shown, but something unusual happens. Laura and Isaac were both unaware of it because they were in a deep sleep, especially since Laura was drunk. The next morning, they wake to a strange sight, thick smoke rising from the nearby forest, as if a huge fire had started. Their dog was barking, birds were screaming, and the whole area felt tense and frightening. Laura quickly pulls Isaac inside and calls the fire brigade, but the firefighters find no signs of fire anywhere. They insist nothing happened at all. This confuses Laura even more. If it was just a dream, then how did Isaac see it too? Still grieving, they try to ignore it. That night, Laura drinks again while watching family videos and has a nightmare of a crashed car in the forest and James's terrifying face. The next day, James passes away and his funeral takes place. He's buried in the garden beside his first wife, just as he requested. After everyone leaves, Laura is overwhelmed with pain. She drinks again and plays loud music. Isaac tries to sleep, but when the noise doesn't stop, he comes downstairs. Laura is passed out on the floor, and Isaac tries to wake her, but the music is too loud. Their dog, a gift from James to Laura, suddenly starts barking at the table, staring at something. A dark, shadowy creature appears, its shape unclear. Isaac and Laura both see it before it quickly runs away. The dog chases the creature, while Laura panics, holding a knife with Isaac close beside her. The creature escapes through Isaac's window and injures the dog. They can't understand what kind of being it was. Laura covers the broken window with plastic and tells Isaac they'll fix it the next morning. Isaac is scared and sleeps in her room. That night, in the forest, the creature tries to copy a human shape. It practices James's voice and even learns to say Isaac's name. The next morning, Robert visits. Laura explains everything, and he suggests it might have been a wild animal running from the forest fire. Laura then notices a kitchen knife is missing and searches Isaac's room, but can't find it. Robert invites them to stay with him, but Laura refuses, so he stays for dinner and cooks. At dinner, Isaac refuses to eat again, and Laura warns he'll get sick, but he doesn't listen. Later that night, as Isaac sleeps, the creature appears in the corner of his room. Using James's voice, it calls Isaac's name. Half asleep, Isaac thinks it's his father and asks where he was. The creature whispers, "Come to the forest before disappearing." Their dog barks again, the same way it does whenever the creature is close. The next morning, Isaac wakes early and looks toward the forest. Laura is awake too. When Isaac steps outside and stares into the bushes, Laura, worried, calls Robert. Isaac then seems to see the creature again, this time with James's face. He becomes emotional. Their dog rushes out to attack, but Isaac stops him, and Laura quickly comes outside. Isaac keeps insisting he saw his dad. Not knowing how to handle him, Laura calls the social worker, Mary. Laura asks why he keeps saying he saw his father, but Isaac refuses to tell her, thinking they want to prove something is wrong with him. Mary gently assures him they only want to help. Isaac then explains, "My dad came into my room and talked to me. Then I saw him again in the forest." When Mary asks what he said, Isaac replies, "He said he came here by mistake and shouldn't be here. And he looked different." Because Isaac is good at drawing, Mary asks him to sketch what he saw. He draws James's face perfectly, but the rest of the body looks strange and unnatural. Mary thinks Isaac might be imagining this creature as a way to cope with grief, but Laura becomes more worried and wonders if he needs a psychiatrist. Mary says he mainly needs support right now. Later, Laura finds Isaac staring toward the forest again and tells him, "If you want, we can go to the forest tomorrow and see for ourselves." The next day, Isaac and Laura go into the forest and find a strange wooden structure. Bella starts barking at it. Isaac runs toward it, claiming his father built it and wanting to go inside. Laura feels something is wrong and stops him. Isaac gets angry and hits her, but she pulls him away. Worried about his behavior, she calls Robert. When Robert arrives, Laura tells him she can't handle Isaac. If he can hit her now, what will happen later? Robert tries to calm her and says he'll adopt Isaac if she can't keep him. During their talk, he admits his divorce happened because he cheated. Laura, upset, goes to her room. Later, Laura sets a small camera in Isaac's room to monitor him, and things seem normal. Outside, as Robert steps out to put things away, Bella suddenly runs toward the forest. Because it was already dark, Robert didn't chase Bella into the forest. There, Bella barks at the wooden shelter again. Inside, the creature appears, this time mimicking Bella's head, while the rest of its body remains distorted. Here we fully understand this being is an alien. It may have crashed in this forest that very night when we saw those lights. This alien can mimic voices and partially copy faces. When it imitates Bella, the real Bella suddenly rushes inside the shelter. We hear disturbing sounds, making it clear that the alien attacks her. The next morning, Bella's injured body is found. A vet confirms the wounds don't look like an animal attack. They seem like cuts, possibly from a knife. Laura fears Isaac may have done it, since he was angry with Bella. Later, Laura and Robert take Bella to bury her in the garden, but the place is destroyed, plants torn apart, as if someone ruined it on purpose. They are shocked. Laura keeps watching Isaac closely. While Robert cooks, she secretly mixes alcohol into her juice to calm her stress. Meanwhile, Isaac hears a noise from the vent. Something inside pushes the vent grill open. Isaac sees Bella for a moment, then looks closer and sees his father's face smiling unnaturally. It's clearly the alien, but Isaac refuses to accept it. The alien tells Isaac that Laura is spying on him and that he shouldn't trust her or Robert. It says it built a home for him in the forest, and he should come there. Isaac tells it not to leave, but the creature replies that they will never accept him. Laura hears Isaac talking and checks the monitor. When she turns the camera, she sees a face staring from the vent. The sight terrifies her. Laura tells Robert someone is in Isaac's room. They rush in and find Isaac screaming at the vent, but Robert sees nothing. Isaac insists his father is there and that Bella is with him, unaware that Bella is dead. Laura calls Mary, but Isaac won't talk. Overwhelmed and desperate for answers, Laura breaks down. She believes Isaac might be responsible, especially after finding the missing knife in his room. She thinks he took it and possibly harmed Bella, though she has no proof. And she herself saw the creature. Exhausted and shaken, she cries and locks herself in her room. Robert goes after her to calm her, and in that emotional moment, they kiss. Isaac sees this, and it confirms what the creature told him, that Laura and Robert are lying to him. Laura is drunk, and Robert tries to stop, but Isaac already feels betrayed. Upset, Isaac runs into the forest. At the wooden shelter, he shouts that the creature was right. The creature tells him to bring Robert to him. Isaac, crying, agrees. The creature invites him inside, and Isaac slowly steps forward. Whether he actually enters isn't clearly shown. The next morning, Isaac sits at the table while Robert makes breakfast. When Laura enters, Isaac walks away. Laura tells Robert she can't handle this anymore. She never wanted a child, only James, and asks if he will adopt Isaac. Robert agrees. She asks him to tell Isaac during their walk because she can't. Later, while walking in the forest, Isaac leads Robert to the wooden shelter. It's getting dark, and Robert suggests going back, but Isaac insists. He says his father built it and that he's never gone inside because he's scared. Robert offers to go in with him, but Isaac asks him to sit first. Robert gently asks Isaac if he wants to live with him, but Isaac refuses. When Robert tries to calm him, Isaac suddenly yells at him. Then they hear a sound from inside. Robert shines his flashlight and sees the black-bodied creature with James's face. Terrified, Robert runs and tells Isaac to run too. But Isaac stays, still believing the creature is his father. What happens next isn't shown. In the next scene, we see Laura in the hospital because Robert has been badly injured. It isn't clear whether the creature attacked him or if he slipped and fell, since Isaac says that Robert was running and then fell. Back home, Laura asks Isaac what happened in the forest. He repeats the same story, but she doesn't trust him. He then admits he lied before because he saw Laura and Robert kissing. Laura, who was drunk and doesn't remember clearly, apologizes. She asks if he ruined the garden, and Isaac says yes. He did it out of anger. When she asks about the knife and Bella, He denies harming the dog. Laura then tells him she's leaving the next day and won't return. Isaac shows no reaction. She says the house will still be his, but he can't stay there alone, so he'll have to go to foster care. She explains she tried to protect him, but he now needs help she can't give, and she asks him to forgive her. Later that night, while everyone is asleep, the creature enters Isaac's room and gets into his bed. Laura wakes up feeling something is wrong and goes to check on him. When she opens the door, she sees the creature lying beside Isaac. She screams, and the creature jumps at her, but she quickly slams the door, injuring her head in the process. Isaac also sees the creature's real form and starts screaming in fear. Hearing him, Laura rushes back inside and holds him, though she's barely conscious because of her injury. Isaac picks up the knife lying near him and points it at the creature. The creature tells him, "I'm just like you. We are a family." But Laura grabs the knife and repeatedly strikes it with full force. We see the pain and anger in her eyes as she seriously injures the creature. Even then, it manages to escape. Isaac calls out to her, but she is in shock. The scene then shifts to the present. Isaac is now grown up. He enters the old forest shelter and finds a photo of himself and James. Then he accidentally kicks a skeleton with a strange-shaped head, confirming it is the creature that died that night. This brings us back to the film's opening scene. The house is abandoned now. Isaac returns to the city where Laura is living. He calls her mom, showing that despite everything, they healed, accepted each other, and finally became a true mother and son. This is where the film ends. This British body horror film uses grief and denial as its core themes. It shows how refusing to accept the death of a loved one can create a different kind of horror. Not just a monster, but the emotional chaos that destroys both Isaac and Laura from the inside. If someone is interested in the creature itself, the film hints that it may be an alien that crashed in the forest the night they saw the strange light. In its natural form, it probably looked very different, but after landing, it adapted to its surroundings. The only fresh body it found was James's, so it copied his face and mind. The wooden structure in the forest was likely inspired by James's own architectural ideas stored in his memories. Memories the alien accessed. And by absorbing those memories, it may have also absorbed emotions, which is why it behaved like a father toward Isaac. It doesn't seem to harm anyone intentionally. Its violent moments appear to be self-defense. The film never shows that it hurt Robert either. But in the end, the creature dies that same night, leaving its true nature a mystery. The filmmakers want the audience to decide how to interpret it, as a monster, a misunderstood being, or a mirror of Isaac's grief.